Greetings, friends. In this week's Parsha, the world is destroyed by a flood. Last week we read how God created the world. By Noah's generation, however, the world had forgotten that Hashem exists. It wasn't just that mankind rebelled, it was worse than that. Hashem's existence was completely ignored. Only Noah and his family remembered. Only Noah and his family survived. When people forget Hashem, it's because they want to forget Hashem. Idols of wood and stone do not expect us to adhere to standards of proper behavior, but Hashem does. And when mankind wants to live like animals, they intentionally forget Hashem. When I met President George W. Bush in 2007, I told him why I thought he was receiving so much flack from the press. I said, it's because you believe in God and embrace moral standards. Others not on your level want to pull you down. And that's why they criticize you. He clearly appreciated my words, and one of his aides came later to thank me for encouraging the president. Hashem expects us to judge the needy and the orphan, vindicate the poor and impoverished, rescue the needy and destitute, and deliver them from the hand of the wicked. But the judges do not know or understand. They walk in darkness. All foundations of the earth collapse. This is a quote from Psalm 82. Who are the judges? This is another name for the governments of the world. When governments judge lawlessly, the result is that all foundations of the earth collapse. The lawmakers who govern the nations, whether Jew or non-Jew, are responsible to subordinate themselves to the laws of Hashem. And when Hashem is ignored by the nations of the world, Hashem may withhold strict judgment for a time in order to allow us to do tshuva, but at the moment he deems appropriate, judgment will be meted out as it was in the days of Noah. In the words of David HaMelech, King David, quote, when the wicked bloom like grass and all the doers of iniquity blossom, it is to destroy them until eternity. Several years ago, we flew on Turkish Airlines from Baku to Istanbul. On the electronic map, the country of Israel was missing. The world pretends that Hashem does not exist. The world pretends that Israel does not exist. When you want to pretend that something does not exist, you just delete it from the map. This is what is called sticking your head in the sand. People who don't want Hashem to interfere in their lives, interfere is in quotes, that's their attitude, simply act as if he does not exist. Today, the foundations are collapsing. People are afraid to walk in cities. Innocent people are attacked on the street, and the judges free the attackers. Nations invade nations and threaten them with nuclear obliteration. Even the so-called stable nations are tottering. Great Britain, once the seat of a great empire, is in chaos. The Queen has died, and the government has fallen after only a few weeks. There is no stability aside from Torah. Ein od milvado, there is nothing else. This week's Parsha makes clear that adherence to Torah is the prerequisite for the continued existence of the world. The avodah of the children of Israel is to teach this truth to the world. All mankind is bound by adherence to the applicable Torah laws. This is a quote from Reb Elchanan Wasserman Zatzal. Quote, the existence of the world depends on Jews learning Torah. If a Jew learns Torah, he sustains the world and prevents its destruction. On Pesach, Hashem brought the children of Israel out of Mitzrayim, ancient Egypt. We were at the bottom, spiritually and physically. Yetzias Mitzrayim, the Exodus, was a physical redemption. The spiritual redemption occurred at our Sinai, Mount Sinai, 7 weeks later. By the time we complete the entire Yom Tov cycle and arrive at the Yom Tov of Sukkot, we have reached an exalted spiritual level at which all that exists is Ruchnius, the holy Torah with which we dance and which we hold close to us. The haters surround us. So we're required, in the name of survival, to keep this in mind at all times. If we live with Hashem in front of us, which is our constant challenge, our avoda, then we may be able to survive the collapse of the surrounding nations and see the final redemption and the rebuilt Beis HaMikdash. It's not easy to achieve the spiritual level required for survival. It was not easy for Noach to withstand the taunts of those who mocked him while he built the Teva, the ark, but he survived. We also want to survive. When all else collapses, we see clearly there's only one refuge. Achashoalti, one thing I asked of Hashem, to dwell in the house of Hashem all the days of my life. Now, Kol Goyim Savavuni, all the nations surround me. In the name of Hashem, I cut them down. The name of Hashem. That's all there is. Good Shabbos.